Another tutorial under binomial expansion theorem or expansion rather. When 1 minus 2k to x to the power p is expanded, the coefficient of x squared is 14. Given that p is greater than 0, use this information to find the value of the that p, the coefficient of x, and the coefficient of x squared. Alright, so it's quite easy. You don't even have to worry much if you know the binomial theorem, right? If we have a plus 2 to the power n, then the summation of this, all right, n combination k is a n minus k, then b to the power k. You remember this formula, right? We can use this. Well, we can also use another one where we distribute everything, but this one is quite easier. All right, so in our case, for part 1, all right, since we are finding the constant p, so we're looking for the term k plus 1, all right, where p and k, remember p is a power now instead of n. Our a in this case is 1, so 1 to the power n, which is p now, minus k, and our b is now is negative 2x to the power k. All right, and if you simplify this, just getting p, k, this is just 1, so everything goes. We can now expand this. This is the same thing as negative 2 to the power k and x to the power k. You can just distribute them, it's fine. Now, our main interest is that we are interested in the coefficient of x squared, all right? Therefore, well, in the coefficient of x squared, so our k will be set to 2 together. So we set our k to 2. Therefore, our term, where there's k here, this becomes term number 3. This will be equal to p, our k is 2, all right? Then we have negative 2, k is 2, and x here it will also be 2. Evaluate this one, we get p combination 2, and we end up having 4, then x squared. And they are saying this is the coefficient, all right? They are saying the coefficient of x squared itself is what? It's 40. Therefore, we are going, this is the coefficient there. So we're saying p2, then 4 is equal to 40. And we can divide throughout, we get p2 is equal to what? 10, right? Now recall that this, it just means that, what does p2 mean? This means that p factorial over p minus 2 factorial, then 2 factorial. You remember this one, right? Exactly. This is what we get, okay? But this will keep on decreasing by 1 and so forth. You get the concept, right? This is just the same thing as p minus, this becomes p minus 1 now, over p, minus 2, then here we have 2 factorial. In there it's factorial. Well, we can distribute this one further if we want, which will give us p minus 1. If I remove 1 here, this becomes p minus 2 factorial over p minus 2 factorial, then 2 factorial. That and that gone. I now remain with what? p minus 1, 2 factorial is just 2, and this is equal to 10. We now solve this because this now becomes a quadratic function, which will give us p squared minus p minus 20 equal to 0. Of course, you can clearly see that since the product and the sum, they are all negative, the two numbers that can give us negative p and negative 20, when you add them and multiply respectively, that will just be equal to, well, negative 5 p plus 4p minus 20 equal to 0. You see the concept? So now here we get p minus 5. We get 4 there, which will be p minus 5 equal to 0. and we end up having just p is equal to 5 or p is equal to -4. So we can't get this one because the condition is simple here. P is greater than what? 0. So we only get p equal to 5 as the only what answer. Then to answer part 2, which is telling us to find the coefficient of x is x. Coefficient of x. Well, to find the coefficient of x is actually very easy. In this case, the power is 1, so k just equal to 1. We already know the value of p. So now we know that our term 2 will be equal to this. When we write, become p factorial, p minus 1 factorial, then 1 factorial. And you have -2, then x there. This will just give us p. If we distribute it one more time, it becomes that minus 1 factorial and 1 factorial. 2x there. This becomes that and that gone. We have p. 1 factorial is just 1, so fine, leave it. So we get -2 here, x. Okay, that's what we are getting now. Now we found that p was what? P was 5. So it becomes -5, then x. This becomes -10x. We're only interested in the coefficient of this friend of ours, which is what? 10. So the answer here is -10. Then number 3 says the coefficient of x squared. Well, the coefficient of x squared has been given already. It's there. It's 40. You didn't even have to go anywhere. It's just 40. Just write 40 there.